It started when I was in college. I was actually I was a history and political science major, and I actually got a teaching degree. But all the while in the summers, I was going down to Florida, and also winter vacation, Easter vacation, working at a TV station in Miami, WTVJ, really interning. I just got the ability to just hang with the TV crews and go out and go do all the sports that was going on down in Miami at that time. So I got the opportunity to see film being edited for high-end stuff and then videotape for the regular newscasts. And it was just a thrill for me. There were really only a couple places to work in the business. So it really wasn't that critical that you just really had to get a job. You had to get your foot in the door somewhere. When I got out of school, I just went and looked for a job. I got a couple of freelance gigs. I worked at NBC Sports on the weekends, and then I got a job at CBS News in the news videotape and film library. And I was a production assistant, and I was pulling footage for 60 Minutes. I was pulling for news specials. I was pulling for the Rather News. I mean, it was very, very exciting. CBS was amazing. And then things started to really roll. CNN was really getting its feet, down. I got a job in Atlanta, and it was a big decision because, I was a young kid, moving from New York, being a New Yorker my whole life, and moving from New York to a 24-hour news operation. Everybody's saying, oh, you're gonna come crawling and begging your job back. But I really at the time said to myself, listen, I'm young enough to take a chance. I'm young enough to gamble. And this is an opportunity. I can get my feet in the door and I can move up that chain a lot faster than here. I'm sitting there at CNN and I'm watching these guys and I'm watching these big news producers chain smoking cigarettes, working ridiculous hours. Guys having heart attacks right in the newsroom. Reagan got shot.
We interrupt. There's been a late development. Shots reported fired outside the hotel where President Reagan spoke a short while ago.
Pope got shot.
The Pope is shot, wounded, but not mortal. We'll have a complete report.
You're up 3 straight days with these stories, and I said, then I started questioning myself, is this the life I really want? It's exciting. I have a passion for it, but am I going to live past 40? So I decided to go into sports, and I started producing CNN Sports, and I started doing all this special long-form features and storytelling and a couple of shows, and I started really being, one of the main cogs in CNN Sports. All the while, I hear what's going on in New York, that the NBA is trying to emulate NFL films. David Stern, who was about to become commissioner, had wanted to bring everything in-house. So I had flown up to New York and interviewed with Stern and with some other people up there. They made me the offer. Came back to start and run NBA Entertainment. We had 4 loggers and a film splicer, and that's how we started. And I was the editor, producer, editor. First big show we do in our studio, naming of the Dream Team with Jordan and Magic and Bird and all that. Now all of a sudden, that's starting. The NBA players are going to be in the Olympics. 10 weeks during the summer of '92, I'm traveling on the same buses, staying in the same hotels across the room, being in the same events, everything, with the 12 most popular athletes in the world. That became probably the highlight arc of my then established life. And then a giant opportunity came up, and I had known Mike Stevens from my NBA days, and he kind of wanted me to look at game entertainment. It spun into being here at the Giants and working with the team and the players, and this is like kind of another dream. Absolutely having an open mind and working as hard as you can. Being the first one there, the last one to leave, never saying I don't know, always having the answer, making yourself a value asset.